As you can see from down there, this one's going to be another tough one. Um, so I've scripted this one, so I will keep looking down bits to make sure I don't forget anything or say something wrong, and yeah. So the other day, I was going through my life story. Woo! And I realised how many ups and downs I've had. More downs than ups. And how many times I wanted to give up and just stop everything and stop fighting. As we can all see, I'm still here. And I think it's important for one of you out there to hear this story of how I kept fighting, and something deep inside is telling me that one of you needs to hear it. So I'm sorry, you can go now, I don't care, you've got this far. And so if you've been following me for the past 4 months, yes, it's been that long, you'll hear me keep repeating that I've not had the best upbringing. And I guess that's why I've always been a bit down, a bit sad. But I've always put on a brave face for my sisters until about year 7, so when I was 11. Where we were living at the time just fell apart. Everything started to break down, and I thought about running away and committing suicide. I was 11 years old, and I had become a Christian a couple of years before, but it felt like my faith had deserted me. I kept questioning why God would let something like this happen. And whilst all these horrible thoughts were running through my head, the only thing that kept me strong were my sisters. I couldn't talk to anyone about how I was feeling. I was being bullied, my weight was a problem, my mental health was a bit. And I was so alone, and no one cared or understood, and Childline was my only friend. Well, I say only friend. They helped me massively from year 7 right up to when I was about 17, and I'll put their links in the description. But year 10 was when it got really bad, and I was low a lot of the time, and the things that once made me happy seemed like a chore, and I didn't enjoy anything, and I started to harm myself, and obviously I talked about that in last week's video. And the amount of times I wanted to end it all. And looking back, my life was a complete mess. And then in January 2010, someone really close to me died. Halfway through my GCSEs, and someone dies. Thanks. And thank goodness she was a Christian, because that gave me the hope, knowing that she was in a better place, knowing that I would see her again. But after she died, people kept digging at me that I was going to be exactly like her, that I was going to be extremely overweight, and that I was going to die young, and I wouldn't see my grandchildren and stuff. And they just kept digging, and I couldn't keep that brave face on anymore. And where I was living, it broke down at the end of that year. And everyone placed the blame on me, that I was troublesome, that I was rebellious, that it was all my fault. So when I started year 11, everything seemed a bit brighter. I was a bit happier. All my friends noticed a big difference. But it soon went downhill again. And I got very low, and nobody knew, because I pretended everything was okay, everything was normal, and I still do that now, and I wish I didn't. And what people didn't know is that I cried myself to sleep most nights. If I started to cry at a film, even if it wasn't a sad film, I just couldn't stop. And people would look at me funny, they'd be like, what are you crying at? And I look back in my journal, and I see how many entries are anger driven, are upset. There are very few days when I'm happy. And when I started sixth form, everything seemed to be on the up. I was studying things I wanted to study, my friends had gone with me, and I was looking forward to the future, something I hadn't considered for a very long time. But the place where I was living began to fall apart, and I didn't know why. In summer 2012, I went on a summer course at the university I'm at now, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But in the middle of it all, I had a breakdown. And I don't know why. Everything, I think, just got on top of me. But at the time of this breakdown, a friendship with a really close friend of mine kind of ended at the same time. And that obviously made me upset. And everyone assumed that I was crying over this friend. Whereas in fact, I was crying over my family, my friends, me, my life, how crap I felt at that moment in time. And when I got back from that 6 weeks, I was in the lowest point in my entire life. I cried almost every night. My sleeping pattern was a bit mucked up. My schoolwork wasn't going to plan. And I started to hurt myself more. I started to call myself worthless, a waste of space, that someone else deserved my bed, my oxygen, my food. I didn't want to wake up in the mornings. Even the thought of my sisters wasn't enough anymore. And my faith was through the floor. I had none. It deserted me. I felt so totally alone. And throughout year 13, the amount of times I wanted to end it. And I really look forward to moving to uni. I did. Who wouldn't? But about 2 months before, I was having these doubts. What if I dropped out? What if I failed? What if I didn't like it? But my sisters kept telling me, no, you're going to finish uni. You're going to get a job. You're going to follow your dreams. But I didn't feel like I deserved it. I still don't think I deserve it, being in this room. And I got into uni with lower grades than everyone else anyway, so that already makes me feel like a failure. And I didn't want to leave my sisters. I knew we would have to do it at some point in our lives, just not when I had just turned 18. But I made it. And I didn't go out during freshers. Instead, I stayed in my room and discovered YouTube. And when I say I discovered YouTube, I mean it became my only friend. But even YouTube wasn't helping me. Within the first month of being here, I was going to drop out. I've said it before, but I mean it. I went into the lowest point of my life, and I'm still trying to claw my way out of that big black hole that sucked me in. I didn't eat. I didn't sleep. I cried every day, and I contemplated killing myself almost every day. There were some days when I had the strength to keep fighting. And YouTube became my best friend, giving me that hope that I needed. And so my sisters forced me to start making videos. And I admit, I didn't want to at first. Because I looked at other people's. I looked at people like Dan and Phil and Marcus and Carrie and, you know, all these big stars, Tyler Oakley, Matt and Nick. And how they're all these big, bubbly personalities on camera. Maybe not in real life, but I couldn't be that person on camera. Because I hide everything beneath the surface. I bottle it all up, and there was no point in me trying to portray something that I'm not for the whole world to see. And so my videos are pretty deep, and I'm really sorry, and thanks for sticking around. But I just want to help people. I want to inspire people. I want to tell people that it's okay, that I haven't given up fighting even though I want to. And some days I still want to, but instead I turn on the camera, so I have a reason not to. But I made it. I'm still here, and I am so unbelievably proud of myself for that. I battle through everything because I want to make people proud. I want to make my sisters proud of me and show them that they can achieve their dreams, whatever it is. I'm still here at this moment in time, right now, because I have no intention of giving up just yet. I'm not ready to give up fighting. I still have those thoughts, but right now, none. I still have sleepless nights, but they're less frequent. Take last night, for example, I got 2 hours sleep. I don't know why. I was shattered, but I couldn't sleep. And so I guess what I'm saying is, it's okay to cry, and it's okay to be sad, it's okay to feel angry, but it's not okay to keep all those thoughts bottled up inside and let them explode when you least expect it. The reason I was so low and alone is because I had no one to talk to. No one cared. And I don't care what time of day or night it is, wherever you are. or don't worry about me in Wales, don't worry. I'm here to listen if you need me to, if you want me to. My phone is always on, my iPad is always on, my social media is all linked to these. My laptop lives by my bed as well. And if I want to be there for you if you're going through a really shitty time. Because no one deserves to go through life alone. I made it this far, but only because I had to. You've heard how many times I wanted to give up, but I made it this far because obviously someone wanted me to be here at this moment in time in 2014 helping someone out there. So if you ever feel like I did or do, and you feel like it right now or in the past, or if you feel like it in the future, please talk to someone. And if you can't talk to your parents, your teachers, your friends, and you want to talk to me, then thank you.